Welcome to Clinical GAN. Today we are presenting to you clinical data management study conduct activities. Study conduct starts once subject enrollment and their trial data collection begins. In today's video, we will discuss about study conduct activities such as data entry, for which the roles have been changed due to advent of EDC systems, ensuring data completeness, central laboratory or third-party data transfer, data coding, query management, assay reconciliation, metrics and tracking. Let's talk about each of these activities in detail. Data entry. The patient clinical data collected is entered in the case report form from the source documents. This is known as data entry. The traditional method, which uses paper CRF, collects the data responses in paper CRF, which are then translated to database by means of single or double data entry in-house by the data managers, followed by batch validations. Let's see the data entry in eCRF-based entry model. In eCRF-based data entry, the role of data entry has been transferred to the investigator, site coordinator, or a designee who will be logging into the system and entering the data directly in database at the site. In eCRF method, the chances of error are less due to programmed system checks, and the resolution of discrepancies happens faster. Let's talk about ensuring data completeness. The data manager ensures that data is collected, validated, complete, and consistent. This is achieved by looking at the status of each CRF. There are symbols used in EDC system to identify field, page, form, or CRF status. For example, to know if the form is complete, incomplete, or if it has a query. And there are many more such symbols used in EDC systems. Let's talk about central laboratory or third-party data transfer. During the conduct of clinical trials, there are external data which are not included in the CRF but needs to be collected for screening of subjects. To speed up the process and minimize the use of different analyzing methodologies and equipments, sponsors often refer to a third party or the centralized vendors to get uniformity of laboratory results. Third-party data, also called as non-CRF or non-eCRF data, is transferred from external sources into the sponsored database via secure server for further processing. The clinical data manager liaises with the central laboratory and decides upon data transfer and transfer schedules in data transfer agreement. Later, the date and time of sample collected is reconciled against the CRF to ensure that all samples collected have been analyzed. Let's see data coding. Medical coding helps in classifying reported medical terms on the CRF to standard dictionary terms in order to achieve data consistency and avoid unnecessary duplication. For example, the investigator may use different terms for same adverse event, but it is important to code all of them to a single standard code and maintain uniformity in the process. Adverse events occurring during the study, prior to study, or during concomitantly administered medications are coded using available medical dictionaries. whereas medications are coded using available drug dictionaries. The commonly used dictionaries are MedDraw, the medical dictionary for regulatory activities. This is used for coding of adverse events as well as other illnesses. WHODDE, World Health Organization Drug Dictionary Enhanced. This is used for coding medications. Other dictionaries are also available for use in data management. Example, WHOART. This dictionary deals with adverse reactions terminologies. Let's see the query management process. When erroneous data is entered, an error or a query is raised against it. This is called as discrepancy or query. All EDC systems have a discrepancy management referred as edit check or validation check. Broadly, there are two types of queries: auto query or system generated checks and manual queries. Let's talk about auto-generated queries or system checks. Auto query is an error message generated when a validation check detects a problem with the data. Here is an example of an auto-generated or a system-generated check. These checks are run automatically whenever user saves or submits the data. Edit checks can identify problems with a single variable, between two or more variables on the same ECRF page, or between variables on different pages or visits. Manual queries. After manual review of the data, manual query could be opened or issued by a data manager, clinical coder, or a CRA. These queries can be issued or responded based on the role each user is assigned to. These manual queries require actions such as clarification or correction to a specific item or variable. Here is an example of manual query, which is open to the site from a data manager. SA reconciliation. The case report collects adverse events reported during clinical trials. However, there is a separate process to ensure timely reporting of serious adverse events. Serious adverse events entered into the clinical trial database are also entered into the drug safety database for reporting it to the health authorities. The clinical data manager ensures reconciliation of the data between the two databases. Metrics and tracking. Metrics helps to measure the performance of clinical trials. Common reports generated by a clinical trial data manager include, but are not limited to, status of page completion. This is to know whether the page is complete, incomplete, or it's untouched. Status of data queries. This is to know the number of outstanding queries. Average time to query resolution. This is to know the queries which are not resolved within specified time limit. Closed discrepancies. This is to know the number of closed discrepancies on all ongoing studies. Commonly raised data queries. This is to help identify areas of improvement. Thank you for watching this video. We will be talking about study closeout activities in our next video, followed by a description of CRF and protocol. Please comment down below if you need information on any other topics. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.